हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So we are discussing the 98th anuccheda entitled The Vedic Sound Reveals Bhagavan. In this, we discuss the first two shlokas of the 10th canto, 87th chapter. The first shloka, Parishit Maharaj asked a question. ब्रह्मण्यनिर्देश्ये निर्गुणे गुणवृत्तयः कथं चरन्ति श्रुतय साक्षात् तदसतः परे. O Brahmana, how can the Vedas, functioning within the three gunas, directly describe the Brahman, which is indeterminable, anirdeshye, free from the gunas, nirgune, and sad asata pare, and transcendental to both cause and effect. Parishit Maharaj asked the question in the Mukhya Vritti. Shukdev Goswami answered this question in the Vyanjana Vritti. Shukdev Goswami said that Buddhindriya Manapranan Jananam Asrajat Prabhu Matrartam cha Bhavartam cha Atmane Kalpanaya cha. The Lord created the intelligence, senses, mind, and the vital force of the living beings for the purpose of apprehending sense objects, for taking birth, for providing a range of experience for the self, and ultimately for transcending the act of filtering experience through the screen of prior assumptions. So we just discussed these two shlokas in detail. Last three classes. We'll continue. Um, so we have to begin from here. अथ तत्र तत्र विशेषं वक्तुं तदीय एव तदीय एवेतिहास उपक्षिप्यते. तदीय एव इतिहास, that is the sandhi. तदीय एवेतिहास उपक्षिप्यते. So in order to explain vishesham vaktum, in order to explain some of these particular characteristics of the Shrutis. Vishesha means particular. In order to explain some of the specific particular characteristics of the Shrutis, a story about the Shrutis, a story about the Vedas is specifically brought up. Is specifically brought up. So, this is a verse from the 10th canto, 87th chapter. Sanandana is asking a question. I think to Sanandana is asking a question in assembly. Just forget whom he is asking. 87.12. So there was a lively discussion among the sages on Janaloka, on the nature of the absolute truth. In that discussion, the same question arose that you are asking now. Shukdev Goswami is telling to Parikshit Maharaj. So all the sages were equally qualified in that assembly, but still they chose one of them as the speaker and other became the eager listeners. So in that assembly, Sanandana is asking a question and Shri Sanandana Uvacha. So somebody can repeat after me. Swasrashtrumidamapiyya
स्वसृष्टमिदमापीय
शयानं सह शक्तिभिः
शयानं सह शक्तिभिः
तदन्ते बोधयाञ्चक्रुः
तदन्ते बोधया चक्रुः
तल्लिङ्गैः श्रुतयः परम्
स्थल्लिङ्गैः श्रुतयः परम्.
So, Prabhuji, so it is Swashrishta E mother, right? E mother. We will say like that, right?
स्वस्रष्टुम्
सृष्टम् इदम्.
इदम् आपीय.
Acha. Dam.
स्वस्रष्टुम् इदम् आपीय. That's how if you split the sandhi.
Okay.
स्वस्रष्टुमिदमापीय शयानं सह शक्तिभिः तदन्ते बोधयाञ्चक्रुः. If I split, I should say बोधयाञ्चक्रुः. But if I say together, तदन्ते बोधयाञ्चक्रुस्तल्लिङ्गैः श्रुतयः परम्.
Thank you.
Whenever a visarga, after a visarga, if there is a shakara, then you pronounce the visarga like a shakara only. Tallingaihi shrutayaha shrutaya. Like that you don't pronounce. Tallingai shrutayapparam. Visarga followed by pakara, that visarga is called as a ardha visarga. You pronounce half visarga. Shrutayapparam. Shrutayapparam. Visarga followed by shakara, then you pronounce the visarga as shakara. Visarga followed by sakara, then you pronounce the visarga as a sakara only. Visarga followed by shakara, then you pronounce the visarga as a shakara only. These are certain rules of pronunciation. Swasrashtumidamapiyya shayanam saha shaktibihi तदन्ते बोधयाञ्चक्रुस्तल्लिङ्गैः श्रुतयः परम्. So, swasrashtum idam apiya. Apiya means drinking. After completely drinking in this cosmos, idam apiya, which is swasrashtu, which is his own creation. After completely drinking in the cosmos, which is his own creation, the Supreme Lord Shayanam Saha Shaktibihi, the Supreme Lord laid down, he went to sleep in Yoga Nidra along with his energies. Saha Shaktibihi. Saha, it has the meaning of with, along with his energies. Tadante. So at the end of that period, that means at the end of the Pralaya Kala, at the end of the, when the Lord's sleeping time ends, at the end of that period, Shrutayaha, Shrutayaha, Shruti, Shruti, the Bahuvachan is Shrutayaha. Harihi, Hari, Harayaha. Shrutihi, Shruti, Shrutayaha. The Shrutis, Bodhayan Chakruhu. Bodhayan Chakruhu means awakened him. Awakened him by what? Tal Lingaihi. Awakened him by reciting his characteristics. Tal Lingaihi, by reciting his characteristics. So, स्वयं निर्मितम इदम विश्वम लय समये आपीय आपीय means samhritya after dissolving the universe shakti bihi sah shayanam shayanam prakritim purusham tad amshatmasatkritya तदंशात्मसात्कृत्य तत्कार्यं प्रति निमीलिताक्षं परं भगवन्तं तदन्ते प्रलयकालावसानप्राये तल्लिङ्गैः तत्प्रतिपादकैर्वाक्यैः श्रुतयः प्रबोधयाञ्चक्रुः प्रातः प्रबोधनस्तुतिभङ्ग्या तुष्टुवुरित्यर्थः. So same thing is explained by Sridhar Swami here. I'll go through the meaning. So at the time of the total dissolution, Bhagavan drinks in. That means he retracts his own creation, this cosmos, and lies down with his energies. That means he withdraws the Prakriti, Purusha, and their various portions into himself and closes his eyes toward them so as not to arouse their manifestation. Nimilitaksham Param Bhagavantam. At the end of that period, namely when the duration of the dissolution is drawing to an end, the Shrutis awaken him by his characteristics, namely by making statements that proclaim him as the Supreme Lord. Tallingais tat pratipadakair vakyaihi shrutayaha prabodhayanchakruhu. In other words, they pleased the Lord, Tushtuvuhu, by means of panegyrics, by means of panegyrics meant to wake him in the morning. So, in the case of great kings, in order to awaken the kings, there are certain people who are appointed. They come in the morning and then they sing the glories of that king in a melodious tune in order to awaken that king. Similarly, just like the panegyrics awaken a king by singing the glories of the king, by singing the qualities of the king, similarly the Shrutis, they awaken the Lord at the end of the dissolution by speaking about his glories. Tallingaihi. Tallingais tat pratipadakair vakyaihi. Shrutayaha prabodhayanchakruhu. Prata prabodhanastu Prataprabodhanastutibhangya Tushtuvur ityartah. Further, Asya Bhagavattvameva Gamyate Natu Purushatvam. The person the Shrutis glorified is Bhagavan and not the Purusha. Purusha refers to the three Purusha avatars. The person they glorified is Bhagavan and not the Purusha. What is the Pramana? Jiva Goswami is quoting a statement from the third canto, 5th chapter, 23rd shloka. Can repeat after me. Bhagavaneka asedam
Bhagavaneka asedam
agra atmatmanam vibhuhu
asedam agra atmatmatam vibhu
atmechhanugatavatma
atmechanugatavatma
nanaamatyupalakshanah.
nanamrityupalakshanah.
So the Bhagavan, Atmatmatam Vibhuhu. Atmatmatam means the self of all the selves. The Bhagavan, Vibhuhu, the all-pervasive Lord. Bhagavan Eka Ased, he alone existed in the beginning, Agre. Agre has become Agra because of Sandhi. Asedam Agre. The Bhagavan, the self of all selves, the all-pervasive Lord, alone existed in the beginning. At that time, there were no distinctions like that of seer and seen. Because everything was within the Lord, owing to his will. Atmechanu gatavatma nanamat upalakshanah. At that time, there were no distinctions. Mati upalakshana, nana mati. There were no distinctions like that of seer and seen. At the time of pralaya, there were no distinctions because everything has become unmanifest. Because everything was within the Supreme Lord, owing to his will. So in this shloka, the word Bhagavan is used. So therefore, the Shrutis also glorified Bhagavan and not the Purusha. That's what Jiva Goswami says. Iti Tritiya Skanda Prakarane Tadanim Purushasya Tadantarbhava Shravanat. According to the statement, even the Purusha feature is contained within the Bhagavan at that time. The Purusha feature is included within the Bhagavan. So, at the end of the creation cycle, the material elements merge back into the primordial nature, Prakriti. At that time, the conditioned living beings along with Prakriti are enfolded within the body of Paramatma who merges into Narayana. And Paramatma has no function during the dissolution period. Therefore, Paramatma merges into Narayana. And this is referred to as a sleep, Yoga Nidra. And then, now the next part. Purva Padyarte Drishtantah. The very next shloka, that is 10.87.13, offers a comparison to illustrate the previous statement. Can repeat after me. Yata Shayanam Samrajam
Yatha shayanam samragjan
Vandinastatparakramaihi
vandinastatparakramai
Pratyushebyetya Sushlokaihi.
pratyushe vyatya sushlokai sushlokai
Pratyushebyetya Sushlokaihi.
pratyushe हाँ क्या pratyushe sushlokai
So the
kai
Visarga,
हाँ
when we chant separately, the Visarga will come. For example, if you see the word to word meaning, 87.13. यथा शयानं सम्राज्य प्रत्यूषेभ्य सुश्लोकैः comes. Sushlokai, the Visarga comes. But during Sandhi, the Visarga has turned into Refa. Bodhyantyanu Jivinaha. Bodhayantyanu Jivinaha. So Yatashayanam Samrajam Vandinastatparakramaihi Pratyushebyetya Sushlokair Bodhayantyanu Jivinaha. So Yata, just like Vandinaha refers to the bards. They glorify the king. Just as the bards, in the service of an emperor, awaken the emperor on the arrival of a dawn by reciting his heroic deeds, parakramaihi. Vandinas tat parakramaihi, by reciting his heroic deeds in a beautiful verses. Sushlokaihi. Sushlokaihi. Pratyushe abhyetya. Pratyushe abhyetya means Pratyushe means I think Pratyushe means at the dawn, the morning time, dawn. Abhyetya. On the arrival, just like the bards in the service of an emperor awaken him on the arrival of a dawn by reciting his heroic deeds, tat parakramaihi, in beautiful verses, sushlokaihi. Similarly, the Vedas glorified the Lord at the time of creation. That is the meaning. And he is explaining this. Tasya samrajah parakramo yatra tair natu निर्विशेषत्व व्यंजकैः शोभनैः श्लोकैः. So the bards glorify the sovereign king with the beautiful verses that describe his heroic exploits, parakrama, and not with the verses suggesting unqualified existence. So specifically, it is mentioned the bards glorify the king's heroic exploits, not some unqualified, qualityless activities. So, I mean, further he says, Yata Shayanam Samrajam Ityasyayam Abhiprayah. The import of this verse is as follows. Ityasyayam Abhiprayah. Yata Ratrau Samrat Mahishibhi Kridan Api Bahikaryam Parityajyant Antargrihadau Sitatvat Tajjanaihi Shayana Evochate Vandibishcha Tat Prabhavamaya Shloka Krita Prabodhana Bhangya Stuyate Tatayam Bhagavan Tadanim Jagat Karyakrita Drishtir Nigudam Nijadamni Nija Parikaraihi Kridan Api Iti. So Yata Ratrau in the night time, during the night, Samrat, even though the emperor is sporting along with his queens, Mahishibhi Kridan Api, but his courtiers say that he is sleeping. The palace people, they say that the king is sleeping. Because Bahikaryam Parityajya, because he has given up his external affairs and he retired to his private quarters. Bahikaryam Parityajya Antargrihadav Sitatvat. Therefore, they say that he is sleeping. Then, on the pretext of waking him, the bards praise his glorious deeds. in beautiful verses. In the same way, the Lord is said to be sleeping at the time of withdrawing his vision from the material manifestation. Although the Lord is uh, confidentially sports with his own associates in his own abode at that time. Nijadamni nijaparikarai kridanapi iti. But Jagat Karya Krita Drishti Nirgudam. But he has withdrawn his vision from the material manifestation. So the Shrutis glorify him on the pretext of waking him up. The real purpose of Shrutis is to glorify the Lord. But on the pretext of waking him up, the Shrutis glorify the Lord. Tat prabhavamaya shloka krita prabodhana bhangya stuyate. So the word anujivinah. Anujivinah ityanena te yata tan marmagnyas tata ta api iti suchitam. Anujivinah means followers. Followers. Those who live exclusively for and in total response to the living source that sustains them. Those who exclusively live for to for the service of the living force that sustains them. So the word Anujivinah signifies that just as these bards are well versed in the deeds of their emperor, so are the Shrutis in the exploits of the Lord. So Jiva Goswami cites the prayers offered to the Lord by the personified Shrutis at the beginning of creation to show how they directly describe the Lord. They wake him up from his cosmic sleep and implore him to create, just as the Indian kings were praised by the bards in the morning. The very fact the Shrutis pray to the Lord proves that they directly glorify him. Moreover, they are transcendental because these prayers took place prior to the material creation. That means when the material creation starts, all the three gunas are activated. Before the material creation, they prayed. That means these prayers are transcendental. The glories of the Supreme Lord which they spoke, which they speak, they are transcendental. It is beyond the three modes. There is another thing which is proved. 1 minute. So now in the next part of the Anucheda, Jiva Goswami quotes the first prayer of the personified Vedas. The personified Vedas, they offer 28 prayers. 10.87.14 to 10.87.41. 14 to 41. So tatra pratamato jnanadi gunagana sevitena samyak darshana karanena bhakti yoge nanubhuyamanam bhagavadakara makandameva tattvam स्वप्रतिपाद्यत्वेन दर्शयन्त्यो ब्रह्मस्वरूपमपि तथात्वेन क्रीडीकुर्वन्त्यः. So Tatra Pratamato, in their first prayer. The Shrutis show that the absolute reality in its entirety. Samyak Darshana, they show that the absolute reality in its entirety in the form of Bhagavan is the truth that they themselves aim to disclose in their discourse. In their first prayer, the Shrutis show that the absolute reality in its entirety in the form of Bhagavan is the truth that they themselves aim to disclose in their discourse. This reality is experienced through the process of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yogena Anubhuyamanam Bhagavad Akara Akandameva, which bestows such complete realization and which is served by composite of other attributes such as Jnana. Jnanadi Gunagana Sevitena Samyak Darshana Karanena Bhakti Yoganu Bhakti Yogena Anubhuyamanam Bhagavadakara Kandameva Tattvam Swapratipadyatvena. So they begin by embracing the Brahman aspect as having that same nature. Brahma Swarupamapi Tatatvena Kridi Kurvantyah. So Jiva Goswami is giving introduction of the first, is giving an introduction about the first prayer which the Shrutis are praying. So you can recite after me. Shrutaya Vuchuhu
श्रुतय ऊचुः
Jaya Jaya Jakhyaja Majita Dosha Gribita Gunam
जय 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 जामति च मज्जित दोष गुभि
Your voice is actually, network is low, it looks like. Tvamasi yadatmana samavaruddha samasta bhagaha
त्वमसि यदात्मना समवरुद्ध समस्तभगः
aga agajagado kasama kila shakyavabodhakate
अगजग अगजगदोकस सामखिलशक्त्यबो वबोदके वबोगदकेते
क्वचिद जयात्मना च चरतोऽनुचरेन्निगमः
क्वचिदजयात्मन चरचरतो नुचरे निगम
Jaya Jaya, conquer. Ajita, they are addressing the Lord by the word Ajita, oh unconquerable one. Unconquerable one. And they say that Jahi, Ajam Jahi, Ajam Jahi, that means dispel the Maya, dispel the Maha. Dosha Grivita Gunam, Ajam Jahi, dispel the Maya which exists without origin, and by whom even qualities are taken as defects. Dosha Gribita Guna. And because of the Maya potency, even the qualities are taken as a defects. For you have harnessed all opulences within yourself. Yad Atmana Samavaruddha Samasta Bhagaha. Because you have harnessed all opulences within yourself. And then they are addressing the Lord as Avabodhaka. Avabodhaka means, oh you who awaken all the powers of the moving and unmoving embodied beings. Aga Jagadokasam Akila Shakti Avabodhaka. Aga Jagadokasam Akila Shakti Avabodhaka. That means O Lord, who can awaken the powers of the moving and non-moving embodied beings, on occasion, Kvachid means on some occasion, Nigamaha, the Vedas, may serve you by disclosing your Leela. Kvachid Ajayatmanacha Charato Anucharen. On occasion, the Vedas may serve you by disclosing your Leela, whether in regard to your external potency or in regard to your internal nature. So, this is the shloka which Jiva Goswami is quoting, and then he is going to explain now. Bo Ajita. The Vedas are saying that, O unconquerable Lord, Ajita. Jaya Jaya Nijotkarsham Avishkuru. Conquer. Nija Utkarsham Avitkuru. That means, please reveal your excellence. Nija Utkarsham Avishkuru. Because of respect towards the Lord, they are repeating 2 times, Jaya Jaya. In order to show him honor, Adare Vipsa. And then further, Atra Atrajiteti, Atra Ajita iti Sambodhanena idam labhyate. So they are addressing the Supreme Lord by the word Ajita. So what does it signify? Nama Vyaharanam Vishnor Yatastat Vishayamatihi. So Jiva Goswami is quoting a shloka spoken by the Vishnu Dutas to the Yamadutas. 6th canto, 2nd chapter, 10th shloka. Stena Surapo Mitra Druk Brahmaha Guru Talpaga. Brahmaha Guru Talpaga. Stena Surapo Mitra Druk Brahmaha Guru Talpaga. Stri Raja Pitru Gohanta Yecha Pataki Nopare. Sarveshamapyagavatam idameva sunishkritam nama vyaharanam vishnor yatastadvishayamatihi. So, chanting of the holy names is the atonement, perfect atonement for all types of worst sins. Stealing, having an illicit relation with a guru's wife, or drinking liquor, murdering. So, chanting of the holy name is the perfect atonement for all these worst sins. Not only by chanting the holy name, one atones for all the sins, but by chanting the holy name, one attracts the attention of the Supreme Lord. So, the recitation of the Lord Vishnu's name is such that his attention is drawn to the reciter. Nama Vyakaranam. Vishnur Yatastat Vishayamatihi. Iti Nyayena Namna Bhagavanasau Sakshad Abhimukhi Kriyata iti Lingadeva Tat Shri Vigrahavat Tadapi Tat Swarupa Bhutameva Bhavati Tad Vijati Yena Tad Abhimukhi Karanan Anarhatvat. So the holy name brings the attention of the Supreme Lord directly towards the person who recites it, towards the one who recites it. So this evidence shows that Bhagavan's name, like his body, is part of his essential nature. So Namna Bhagavanasu Sakshat Abhimukhi Kriyata iti Linga Deva Tat Shri Vigrahavat. Bhagavan's name, like his body, is part of his essential nature. Tat Swarupa Bhotameva Bhavati. If the Bhagavan's name were foreign in nature to him, it could not draw his attention. Tad vijati yena tad abhimukhi karanan anarhatvat. Because the Bhagavan's name is part of his Swarupa Shakti, is part of his essential nature. Therefore, when a person chants the Bhagavan's name, the Bhagavan's attention is drawn towards that person who recites it. So the personified Vedas, they are addressing the Lord by the word Ajita in order to draw the attention of the Bhagavan towards them. Because Ajita is the name of the Supreme Lord. And the name of the Supreme Lord is part of his Swarupa Shakti. So, whenever a person chants the holy name of the Lord's attention is drawn towards that person. So, the Shrutis, in order to draw the attention of the Supreme Lord towards them, therefore they are chanting the Lord's name by the word Ajita. And then further he says, Atayeva Bayadveshadau Srimurtehe Spurteriva सांकेत्यादावप्यस्य प्रभावः श्रूयते विशेषतश्च अत्र श्रुति विद्वत् अनुभवावपि पूर्वमेव प्रमाणीकृतौ तस्मात् यत् तत्त्वं श्रीविग्रहरूपेण चक्षुरादा उदयते तदेव नामरूपेण वागादाविति स्थितम्. So it is said that the Lord's name, even when only alluded to indirectly, even when a person chants the Lord's name indirectly, it has a powerful effect on the reciter, just as the form of the Supreme Lord. Even on a person who is filled with fear or envy. So Kamsa was all the time thinking about the form of the Supreme Lord, but out of fear. Shishupal was all the time thinking of the form of the Supreme Lord, out of envy. But still, that form of the Supreme Lord had a powerful effect on them. It purified them. So similarly, when a person chants the holy name of the Supreme Lord, even indirect, it has a powerful effect on the reciter. So in this specific matter, the statements of the Vedas, Visheshatascha atra Shruti Vidvad Anubhavapi Purvameva Pramanikrito. The statements of the Vedas and the experience of the realized beings have already been given as a evidence. So the same absolute reality that manifests to the eyes in a visible transcendental form also manifests on the tongue and ears in the form of his name. Tasmad yat tattvam Shri Vigraha Rupena Chakshurada Udayate Tadeva Nama Rupena Vagada Viti Sthitam. Just like the absolute reality manifests to the eyes in a visible transcendental form, the absolute truth also manifests on the tongue and ears in the form of his name. Further, Tasman Nama Naminoho Swarupa Abedena Tat Sakshatkare Tat Sakshatkara Eva Ityatah Kim Vaktavyam. Now that it has been established that the essential nature of the name is non-different from the owner of the name, that is Bhagavan. So it can be said that the direct realization of the name is certainly realization of the Bhagavan. Direct realization of the name is certainly realization of Bhagavan. Tat sakshatkara eva ityatah kim vaktavyam. So anyavad bhagavati shrutayopi जात्यादिकृत संज्ञा संज्ञि संकेतादि रीत्या रूढ़्यादि वृत्तिभिश्चरन्ति इति यासां श्रुत्यभिधानां वल्लीनां साक्षात् तथा भूतानि नामान्येव फलानि इति. So it goes without saying that the Shruti is able to describe the Lord Yeah. Uh, so, so it goes without saying that the Shruti is able to describe the Lord just as describes other objects elsewhere by vrittis such as Rudi, popular understanding, which indicate an object by its name, which is derived from its characteristics, such as class and so on. Indeed, such names of the Lord are directly the fruit of the vines called the Shrutis. Such names of the Lord are directly the fruit of the vines called the Shrutis. Vine means what? Vine means a plant with a weak stem that derives support from climbing uh, or creeping along a surface. Long, thin stem of a crippling or a trailing. Indeed, such names of the Lord are directly the fruit of the vines called the Shrutis.
Alankar, no? It's actually,
Uh,
it's, I mean, it's describing, it's an alankar, no? This is what you are saying just now is fruit
uh,
of vines. It's alankar, no? Giving that.
yeah. Hmm. So now that it has been established, the essential nature of the name is non-different from its owner. Uh, Direct realization of the name is certainly realization of Bhagavan. So it goes without saying the Shruti is able to describe the Lord just as it describes other objects elsewhere. The Shruti is addressing the Lord by the word Ajita. And the name of the Supreme Lord is not different from Bhagavan. Therefore, Shruti is able to describe the Lord just as it describes other objects elsewhere by Rudyartha, that means popular understanding, which indicate an object by its name, which is derived from its characteristics, such as class and so on. Indeed, such names of the Lord are directly the fruit of the vines called the Shrutis. Further saying, Utkarsham Avishkuru, Utkarsham Avishkuru इत्यनेन इत्थं सर्वोत्कृष्टता गुणयोगेन मुख्ययैव वृत्त्या श्रुतयस्तस्मिंश्चरन्ति इति दर्शितम्. So Utkarsham Avishkuru means reveal your excellence. This statement indicates that the Shrutis are able to describe the Lord directly by connecting to his super excellent attributes through the primary meaning of the words. Through the primary meaning of the words. Sarvotkristata gunayogena mukyayaiva vrittya shrutayas tasmim charanti iti darshitam. The Shrutis are saying that reveal your excellence. So this indicates the Shrutis are able to describe the Lord directly by connecting to his super excellent attributes through the Mukhya Vritti. So the Shrutayascha Nate Mahitvam Anvashchuvanti. Nate Mahitvam Anvashchuvanti. The Vedic statements that confirm this are no one can glorify you fully. Natat samas natat samarchabhyadikascha drishyate. No one is equal or superior to him. इत्याद्याः अत्र श्रुतयो जय जय इति स्वभक्त्या आविष्कारात् भक्तिमेव तत्प्रकाशे हेतुं गमयन्ति. Furthermore, in revealing their own devotion by uttering the words Jaya Jaya, the Shrutis make it understood that Bhakti is the cause of the Lord's manifestation. Only by Bhakti one can understand the Supreme Lord. So, Kena Vyapar केन व्यापारेणोत्कर्ष आविष्करवाणि इत्याशंक्य माया निरसनद्वारा स्वभक्तिदानेनैव इति आहुः अजां मायां जहि. Anticipating that the Lord may raise the question, in which regard shall I manifest my excellence? The Shrutis answer that he should do so by dispelling his Maya. Kena vyaparena utkarsham avishkaravani. How should I manifest my excellence? The Lord may ask this question. Iti ashankya, expecting that Maya nirasana dwara. You manifest your excellence by removing the Maya, by dispelling Maya, and bhakti danena, by granting devotion. Bhakti danena eva iti ahuhu. Ajam mayam jahi. Ajam maya means what? Ajam is a visheshana for Maya. Ajam maya means dispel the Maya which exists without origin. Since beginningless time, a person is in Maya. Dispel that Maya and bestow devotion upon us. Further, the Lord is asking, a doubt is raised. Nanu means a doubt is raised. Nanu Maya nama vidya avidya vrittika shakti. But Maya is an energy that has the functions of both the knowledge and ignorance. Vidya avidya vrittika shakti. If the Maya is dispelled, tarhi tarhi tad danane vidyaya api hatihi syad ityata ahuhu. If the Maya is dispelled, then it would vidya shakti of the Maya, that would also be abandoned. That would also be abandoned. So in response, the Shrutis are saying, ahuhu dosha gribita gunam जीवाणाम आत्म विस्मृति हेताव विद्यालक्षणे दोषे एव गृहीतो गृहीतस् तत्स्मृति हेतु विद्यालक्षणो गुणो यया ताम. So the Shrutis are saying that by whom even the qualities are taken as the defects. Dosha gribita gunam Jivanam Atma Vismritir, by whom even the qualities are taken as defects, dosha gribita guna. So this compound refers to Maya, by whom even the quality characterized as Vidya, which is the cause of self-remembrance, is taken only as a defect, characterized as avidya, the cause of the living beings, forgetfulness of the real nature. So by Maya, a doubt may be raised, but Maya is an energy that has the functions of both knowledge and ignorance. If it is dispelled, then would not Vidya also be abandoned? The Shrutis respond, by whom even qualities are taken as defects. This compound refers to Maya, by whom even the quality characterized as Vidya, which is the cause of self-remembrance, is taken only as a defect, characterized as avidya, the cause of the living beings, forgetfulness of the real nature. So, swayameva, shall read this, complete this paragraph and then we'll end. Swayameva स्वावेशेणा विद्यालक्षणं दोषमुत्पाद्य क्वचिदेव कदाचिदेव कथंचिदेव कंचिदेव जीवं त्यजति इति तस्यास् त्यागात्मक विद्याक्य गुणोपि दोष एव तस्मात् ताम निर्मूलां विधाय जीवेभ्यो निज चरणारविंद विषयां भक्तिमेव दिशेति तात्पर्यम्. So the invocation is to dispel that Maya who makes even knowledge seem like ignorance. Engrossing the living being in herself, she gives rise to the defect called avidya. So it is only in some places, only at some times, that she somehow releases only some living beings. Thus, her positive quality called vidya, by which she releases the living being, is also a defect. Therefore, uproot her completely and please bestow devotion for your lotus feet on the living beings. This is the purport. So maybe you can read this paragraph from here again. Somebody can read this. A doubt may be raised.
A doubt may be raised, but Maya is an energy that has the functions of both knowledge, vidya, and ignorance, avidya. If it is dispelled, then would not vidya also be abandoned? The Shrutis respond, by whom even qualities are taken as defects. This compound refers to Maya, by whom even the quality characterized as vidya, which is the cause of self remembrance, is taken only as a defect, characterized as avidya, the cause of the living beings. The cause of the living beings. The next page. Forgetfulness of their real nature. The invocation is to dispel that Maya, who makes even knowledge seems like ignorance. Engrossing the living being in herself, she gives rise to the defect called avidya. So, it is only in some places, only at some times, that she somehow releases only some living being. Thus, her positive quality, called vidya, by which she releases the living being, is also a defect. Therefore, uproot her completely and please bestow devotion for your lotus feet on the living beings. This is the purport. In this way, after directly stating that the
Yeah,
Lord is
we'll
transcendental.
this part will continue. So the Shrutis are praying that please dispel Maya completely. The Maya has Vidya Shakti and Avidya Shakti. Maya has Vidya Shakti and Avidya Shakti. Uh, okay, we can understand that we have to come out of Avidya. But what is the need of coming out of Vidya? That is the question which is raised. So the Shrutis are saying that Maya is that by whom even the quality characterized as Vidya, which is the cause of self-remembrance, is taken only as a defect, characterized as avidya. The cause of the living entity is forgetfulness of his real nature. So therefore the invocation is to dispel that Maya, who makes even the knowledge seem like ignorance. Because of Maya, even the Vidya is taken to be as avidya. Even the Vidya is taken to be as ignorance. Because of Maya. So engrossing the living beings in herself, Maya gives rise to the defect called avidya. So therefore, only in some places, at some times, she somehow releases some living beings. So therefore, her positive quality called vidya, by which she releases the living being, is also a defect. So this point is maybe we need to understand. Let's see if there is explained in the commentary. Commentary is a very short commentary that comes much later. So, in substance, in essence, the Shrutis are saying that please dispel Maya completely. Although the Maya has Vidya and Avidya Shaktis, but even the Maya is so powerful that she makes even the Vidya appear as a defect. Therefore, dispel Maya completely. Uproot her completely. And not only uproot her completely, and bestow devotion for your lotus feet on the living beings. That is the prayer of the Shrutis. Ato.
But the vidya which brings you close to Lord is recommended, no? I didn't understand.
Little, also not exactly clear, but what it appears is that Maya Shakti makes even the Vidya Shakti as a defect because of Maya. So therefore, please dispel Maya completely. That's what they are praying. Dispel Maya completely because Maya is so powerful that she makes the Vidya also appear as a defect. The Shrutis address the Lord by the name Ajita, the invincible. This indicates the sound of his name has the power to reach him and attract his attention. This is possible only if that name is also transcendental, as nothing material can approach the Supreme Lord. So the Shrutis are addressing the Lord by the word Ajita. For what purpose? In order to awaken the Lord. If the name Ajita, if it were material, it cannot awaken the Supreme Lord because nothing material can attract the Supreme Lord. So therefore, the name of the Supreme Lord is also transcendental. And since there is no duality in the spiritual world, the Lord's name is non-different from him. Therefore, realizing the Lord's name is same as realizing him. And the Lord's holy name carries power even if chanted out of fear or anger. Like in the case of Ajamil. And the holy name is the mature fruit of the Vedas. Sakala Nigamavalli Satpalam Chit Swarupam. I'm reading from the commentary to this part of the Anuccheda. So therefore, the Shrutis describe the Lord by the Mukhya Vritti as well as by other Vrittis. So in commenting on this 10.87.14, Jiva Goswami cites numerous Shruti mantras that describe the Lord in different types of Vrittis, such as Mukhya Vritti or Rudyartha or using Lakshana Vritti. So, I'll just go through this part. Ato Maya Gatana Yogya Shaktitwena Tadatittatvam Vyapadishya Sachidananda Ganatvam Bhagavato Vyanjayantyo Tan Nirasana Mukhena Tatparya Vritya Shrutayas Charanti iti Vyanjitam. In this way, after directly stating that the Lord is transcendental to Maya, Maya Gatana Yogya Shaktitvena. After directly stating the Lord is transcendental to Maya, since he is able to dispel her, the Shrutis, while revealing his eternal, conscious, and blissful nature, describe him by Tatparya Vritti or indirect intended meaning, primarily through the process of negation. Bhagavato Vyanjayantyan. So the Shrutis describe the Supreme Lord by Mukhya Vritti, by calling the Lord as Ajita. Because the name of the Supreme Lord is not different from him. So when they call out the Lord as Ajita, they are directly describing the Supreme Lord. And then the Shrutis also describe the Supreme Lord by intended meaning, Tatparya Vritti, through the process of negation called as Atan Nirasana. So This part we'll take up next time. This is a little long anuccheda, long part of the anuccheda. We'll take up next time. So, in summary, what we discussed today, that Jiva Goswami, the 98.3, he quotes the shloka spoken by Sanandana. After the annihilation, the Lord laid down along with his energies. So at that time, the Shrutis awakened him by speaking about his characteristics. The Shrutis glorified the Bhagavan in order to awaken him by speaking about his characteristics. Just like the bards awakened the king by speaking about his exploits, similarly the Shrutis glorified the Lord at the dawn of the creation by speaking about his characteristics. So this also shows that Vedas clearly described about the personal characteristic of the Supreme Lord, because the bards will not speak about something impersonal when they awaken the king. Similarly, the Vedas, they speak about the personal characteristic of the Supreme Lord. So, the Shrutis glorify him on the pretext of waking him up. The Shrutis are called as Anujivina, followers. That means these Shrutis are well versed in the glories of the Bhagavan. And so in the first prayer, the Shrutis show that the absolute reality in its entirety in the form of Bhagavan is the truth that they themselves aim to disclose in their prayers. The very first prayer itself, they say that the absolute truth is actually, in its complete reality, is Bhagavan. And the first prayer, they say, address the Supreme Lord by the word Ajita. And they are asking the Supreme Lord to dispel Maya, which is without origin. They are asking to dispel Maya completely. And they are addressing the Lord that by Avabodhaka, one who awakens the powers of moving and non-moving living entities. That on some occasion, the Vedas may serve you by disclosing your Leela in respect to the external potency or with respect to your internal potency. So why they address the Supreme Lord by the word Ajita? Because they want to attract the attention of the Supreme Lord towards them. And the name of the Supreme Lord is transcendental, just like the Supreme Lord. Because the Vedas are offering this prayer before the dawn of creation. The three gunas are absent. That means the name of the Supreme Lord is transcendental. And the Lord is attracted to his name. And so this shows that the essential nature of the name is non-different from the owner, that is Bhagavan. And then they are addressing the Supreme Lord to reveal his excellence. Reveal his excellence. So this also indicates that Shrutis are able to describe the Lord directly by connecting it to his super excellent attributes, to the primary meaning, to the Mukhya Vritti. And then Jiva Goswami is raising a doubt that the Maya has aspect of Vidya and Avidya. If both are dispelled, then would not Vidya also be abandoned? Why to dispel the Vidya part also? The Shrutis respond that Maya makes even the Vidya aspect as a defect. Therefore, the Shrutis are praying that please dispel Maya completely. In this way, after directly stating that the Lord is transcendental to Maya, since he is able to dispel her, the Shrutis, while revealing his eternal conscious and blissful nature, describe him by Tatparya Vritti, primarily through the process of negation. That aspect we will see next time. But I suggest that you can go through this today's part once or twice, at least the translation. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any questions?
Can you hear me, Prabhu, with this connection?
Now I'm able to hear.
Prabhuji, we are that the Shruti personified, waking up the Lord, and they are calling as a Bhagavan, right? But we in our temple, we recite the Purusha Suktam, which is meant for the Purushas, the three Purushas. Is it that we have to worship the Lord in the Narayana, Aishwarya Bhava, because of that we are doing, or what is that relation between these two? Why we can't recite the Shruti Shlokas only?
Purusha Sukta prayers are chanted during the worship of the Lord. They also glorify the Supreme Lord only. So, in one sense, in essence wise, there is no difference actually. There is a tradition to chant the system is uh, established according to the Pancharatrika worship. While performing the Shodasha Upachara, 16 offerings to the Lord, we chant different mantras of the Purusha Sukta. The person who is glorified with the Purusha Sukta prayer is the same Supreme Lord. So one can chant this Shruti Stuti also. After the worship is over, a person chants different prayers. So one can chant the Shruti Stuti, the prayers of the personified Vedas. There is no problem. But during the worship, at different stages, different mantras are recited. That for that, Purusha Sukta prayers are given by the Pancharatrika system. And during Abhishek, we chant the Brahma Samhita, we chant the Purusha Sukta. A devotee may serve the Supreme Lord internally in a Vrindavan mode. But externally, one has to worship the Supreme Lord in the mood of awe and reverence. So, because there will be
Very,
many other people, common people will be there. They may not be in that.
very nice, Prabhu. Prabhuji, this Vidya also is not getting abandoned when Maya uh, is when we dispel the Maya, Vidya also not getting abandoned. That's the last paragraph you have described. In that Vidya, does it amount to Jnana, or that avidya amounts to karma? I'm just speculating, not necessarily connected with that.
What is mentioned is that the Maya makes even the Vidya aspect appear as a defect. Therefore, dispel Maya completely. That is what the Vedas are praying. Uproot Maya completely and bestow devotion to you. That is the prayer of the Vedas. So by Vidya Shakti, a person understands one's Swarupa as Atma, different from the body. Avidya Shakti, a person becomes absorbed in enjoying the matter. By Vidya Shakti, at least a person understands that I am not the body, but I am the Atma. But even higher than that, one has to come to the point of realizing that I am the eternal servant of Bhagavan. So by Vidya Shakti, one understands that I am different from the material body, which is made of the Pancha Mahabhuta. But even higher than that, one has to come to the point of realizing one's Swarupa as an eternal servant of Krishna. Okay.
So one has to come out of that vidya, which is that self-realization point. Further, he has to go to the devotional service
Yes,
point.
one has to go beyond that, correct. That is why there is a verse, 11th canto, 19th chapter, I think first shloka. Jnanam cha mayi sanyase. Even a person who is following the Jnana Marga, at a certain point, one has to give up that sadhana of the Jnana Marga. And one has to go beyond that. One has to take to Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is never given up. But the sadhana of Jnana Marga, Ashtanga Yoga Marga, they are given up at a particular time. But the Bhakti Yoga is never given up. So by Vidya Shakti, a person at least understands I am different from the material body. I am the Atma. But one has to go beyond that understanding that I am the eternal servant of the Lord. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very wonderful class, Prabhu. Very nice it is.
Hare Krishna. So we'll continue. This part is little tricky. But once we complete this anuccheda, then it will be little smooth, I guess. 965. Another maybe 30 pages are there for this 98th anuccheda. And then there are 4 more anucchedas. Okay.
These Advaitvadis, they actually, in the end, they reject the Vedas, right? Because
At the end, they say ultimately there is only the impersonal reality. So Vedas are also like a tool only. Deity worship is like a tool. Harinam Sankirtan is also like a tool. Because we are embodied, we need this. We can't focus completely on the impersonal reality. So we need to follow these things. That is our understanding. Okay. Shall we end here?